Hello everyone. Welcome back to a new stream. It has been a very long while since I've streamed. As it says, Return of the Max. I am back to stream. Sorry guys, I'm just loading Minecraft up. Readying it for the stream. It's been a while since I've streamed. And it is also, well, what's going on? Oh, what the fuck am I doing? Okay. Right. What should I do? Design World would be good, I think. Oh yeah, I'm back here. It's been a while since I've been here. Yeah. Hello, sir. Hello, Dave. How are you? I remember this. English flag. Northern Irish flag. Scottish flag. And this is my attempt at a Welsh flag, which is obviously not the best, but I'm good, how are you? I'm doing alright, thanks, Dave. Just chilling out here, because I've just come back on after a certain period of time, and I've discovered that I've not streamed for about 2 months, so I thought I should come back and do it for a bit, because I've been on a hiatus for a little while, really. Oh yeah, the Canadian flag. The American flag. I remember. Yeah, I've been away and I've been on a little social media hiatus for a certain period of time. And I never knew they added this because I've been away for a long while. Hold on, can I... Oh. Oh. I don't know if the sphere really does much. I'm not sure what it does. Because, like, it's a new Minecraft weapon. Like, I've never actually seen this before. Not until the recent update, obviously, but... 1, 2, 3. 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's been a while since I've announced anything, really. And it's been a while since I've properly recorded as well. But since I am back, I am doing my very best to get back on the pre-recording high horse. I am trying my very best to climb that ladder again. And I will. I'm going to say this, guys. Recently, I have just finished recording and you lot are going to be probably a bit surprised. It's related to Remarkable World, by the way. I have finished recording episode 200. And I'm going to say this now, that episode 200 is indeed a 2-part story. It starts from episode 200 and then it goes into episode 201. Yes, this is very much a 2-part story. I would argue that episode 200 teases what's to come, but episode 201, there's a lot of stuff to uncover. You'll be discovering not too many things. I don't like to overhype things. I don't like overhyping things. I don't like it when writers do that. It's like, yeah, you want people to see your product, but let people decide if they're... But I think writers should just let people decide if they like your product or not. Stop using hyperbole to convince people, saying, oh my god, it's extraordinary. It's the twisted century when it's... That was my issue with The War Between the Land and the Sea. To anyone who watches modern Doctor Who, I don't know if anyone who is subscribed watches modern Doctor Who that much. I mean, I know someone who does watch modern Doctor Who, like recent Who. There was a spin-off called The War Between the Land and the Sea. And the writer, who is also currently... Well, he's not really the showrunner anymore, I don't think. It's like... The only thing he's going to be writing is the 2026 Christmas special, and then that's him gone. So he's not the showrunner anymore, but he did a spin-off called The War Between the Land and the Sea, which aired at Christmas. Well, not on Christmas, it aired during the Christmas-December period. It was overhyped. The first few episodes was pretty good, but the actual finale, they were overhyping it just a bit. Right? That's what I don't like about writers. They overhype things. It's like, let people decide if your product's good or not. How would I make people do that? You know what I would do? I would never say, oh my god, you should definitely watch my programme that I wrote because it has some extraordinary twists and you're going to find out so many things. It's like, well, that never happened, really. It's just like, it was kind of rubbish, the finale. And it's like, if I was asked to... Pretty good. If I was interviewed as a writer and they said, ooh, what can you say about your new programme or your new film or book or whatever, and I'll just say, stay tuned. That's it. That is it. No overhyping it. Just stay tuned. Easy. It's easy promotional things, right? Like, you don't need to overdo it. Oh my god, there's so many twists along the way. If that is truthful to you, then say it. But if there isn't, then don't say that. Because you know why? Most writers like to say, oh my god, there's so many twists along the way. It's to create speculation. It's to create hype. It's to get people theorising on the internet. That is literally that's why they do it. And that's just... That is literally it. That is literally the reason why only. It's nothing extraordinary or anything. It's just a hype train. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. It's just what I created. Yeah, that's all I'll say. Episode 200 is like a little teaser. And that is me being honest. It's like a little teaser for what 201 has to come. You'll find out a few things about the history. You'll find out about some things that Lizardarius has. You'll find out about where I come from. You'll find out about a new character, which, honestly, I'm just so excited. And tomorrow, I am finishing it off, and then it'll be uploaded privately until the time it comes out, which is around April-ish. April-ish. Isn't April... When's December? December's around April, isn't it? Or is it around... It's around May, I think. May 20th. Is it? Hold on, let me have a look. I'll have a look, actually. When is Easter Sunday 2026? Oh, April 5th. April 5th. Oh, April 5th is when Easter Sunday is. Weird. Well, in 2026, April 5th. Weird. That's really weird. I thought it was May 20th or something, or April 20th. Like, somewhere around that time, but no, it's not. So, it's just me. Why don't you add a little bit of a patternization into the floor? Do a bit of a patternization. It's been a while. Been a while since I've been here, but I am very willing to get back onto the pre-recording high horse, and I'm willing. The spin-offs I need to talk about, will they still happen? There hasn't been a lot of promotional material recently. Yes, I am still wanting to do the spin-offs. But I'm just questioning, will some of these spin-offs add anything at all? So one spin-off adds a level of dread and darkness to the already existing world we live in. And one of them is more character-driven. It's driven by what a character wants and desires, and sort of claims it in the end. But then the other spin-off is not in Remarkable World at all. It takes place in another world, and there's some sort of darkness to it. And I'm just questioning, will they add anything to the lore at all? Hell, some of these spin-offs tease things at the end. I'm just questioning, will they add anything? Will they add anything significant? Are they significant pieces of media? Because I'll tell you the spin-offs I'm definitely excited to do. I am very excited to do the Reptilian Rise. That's what I'm looking forward to. I think it's a good idea. It tells us who Lizardarius is. It tells us where he comes from. There's also that Quest of Fred series that I've got planned, which no scripts have been written for that yet. So I'm going to start pre-recording Remarkable World a lot more. And then we'll see when we can find out when to do the Reptilian Rise. Because Reptilian Rise hasn't been recorded yet. The scripts are done. The ideas are done. But I just need to film them. And some of the locations are done as well. But I just need to film them. So, yeah. And then there's Quest of Fred. No scripts have been done yet. No locations have been done. We've already got a good idea. I've already got a good idea of what I want from that series. Anyway, it's going to be about 5 episodes, and then Legend of Bob Toad. That's also going to be 5 episodes long, and it's more of a fun series. It's a good series, I think, because I've got a good idea for those series. I've done the scripting for The Reptilian Rise. I've got ideas for Quest of Fred and The Legend of Bob Toad. I've just not written the scripts yet. And yeah, that's initially it. But yeah, there is a lot to come. And I can't wait to do them as well. Right, I think I'm going to do something more exciting. Actually, now that I think about it, when I said these spin-offs are good, but will they add anything? I guess you could say one of them's about finding who they are as a person and finding the people they've not really seen in ages. It's like, it's character driven. That's what they are. Character driven. They don't really impact the series of Remarkable World. Sure, there's dark layers under it that we find out, but other than that, it's more character driven, and we find out who these people are as people and why they do what they do. I think the story for Lizardarius and the character of Lizardarius, don't get me wrong, as we've all seen, the characters, the people that, the people in real life that Lizardarius is sort of based on is not pleasant at all. The people that he's based on, not pleasant in the slightest. I'm not saying they are. But I think with Lizardarius as a character, I think his story is a bit more interesting. Like, we get to find out who he is, where he comes from, how he acts, not just emotionally or physically, but how he thinks and acts politically. We get to find out about him as a person. We get to find out where he comes from, what his issues are, what his flaws are. It's good character-driven series. I'll give you a little clue for the Reptilian Rise. You know how most villains in, Minecraft series, most villains desire to take over a world? Lizardarius doesn't want to take over. He wants to take something back that used to belong to him. There you go. There you go. He doesn't want to take over. He wants to take something back. Easy. Very easy. You can start speculating, or you can start theorising what that could possibly mean. Because the word he's not wanting to take over, he wants to take back, that could literally mean anything. So if you want to speculate or come up with your fan theories, which obviously my channel or my series isn't big enough to be considered a fandom, and it's not big enough to have people take all the time out of their days to start theorising about certain characters, or how they act, or where they could possibly originate from. No. But it'd be nice to that would be nice, actually. what it'd be like to have a fandom speculating everything that you write about. It would just be amazing. You know what my core difficulty with fandoms are? Specifically with the Harry Potter fandom. I'm not too keen on Harry Potter, really. I think it's a bit overhyped and overdone. It's like, oh my god, Harry Potter's the greatest piece of media in the world. And it's like, is it? Like, I'm just not that bothered on it. It's like, I hate it in fandoms where the thing they really, really like becomes who they are. I hate it. Like, I like Doctor Who, but Doctor Who isn't exactly, you know... Doctor Who isn't exactly my... It's not exactly my full personality. I don't talk about it all the time. I think about it. And I think of ideas of my own. Hello, Owen. I think of stuff, and I don't like every... It's like when things get overhyped... And then you're like, why not? I'll watch it. People seem to really, really love it. Apparently it's the greatest piece of media ever. I'll watch it to see what it's like. And then sometimes after it, I just feel really, really underwhelmed because it's very overhyped and people have clearly lost their senses of what's great and what's not. You're allowed to have your opinions. You're allowed to say something's good if it's just your personal status. But don't try and force that entire status onto everyone else. Because this is what I don't like. When you say that you don't like a certain thing that a massive fandom does like, they'll start biting down on you for it. Fandom can be very, very vicious. It's like if you don't like something because you think it's overhyped. Like, I can imagine there being some Harry Potter, some Potterheads who just watch this and they just start hissing and snarling, saying, oh my god, this guy doesn't know cinema. What the fuck even is cinema anymore? What do you consider cinema? Like, there's probably lots of things. Like, personally, I just like media with funny characters, good villains. I don't like overcomplicated plots and that. When I watch Doctor Who, I'm particularly on the Stephen Moffat era. I finished watching the 11th Doctor or Matt Smith's Doctor not too long ago, and some of his episodes were really convoluted and overly complicated, I think. Like, when I was watching season 5's finale, The Big Bang, I was just like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? Like, what does this mean? It's like, I get it's a time travel show. It's a time and space travel show. Doctor Who is about a guy called the Doctor. It's not a name, by the way. The Doctor's name isn't the Doctor. The Doctor has a name, and the Doctor is just a title. The Doctor is a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey who has 2 hearts. He's the last of the Time Lords who just travels in a blue box with a companion, right? And when he's close to death or has a near-death injury, he regenerates, changing his face and becoming a new Doctor, which is just so interesting. It's like, but when it starts to go really, really complicated with like, oh, rebooting the universe and all this, and it's like just, Stephen Moffat can really, really, really tangle my bloody brain wires sometimes with his over-convoluted. He's not convoluted. Convoluted, I think, is like when it's like convoluted. Overly a convoluted plot is when it's like, I guess there's some contradictions. It's really, really difficult to understand. Contrived is like when something feels forced. Like, let's just say there was a character from the past who was really, really grumpy before. But then, in the future, there's the future character who is sad and questioning himself. And instead of the past character being grumpy, like how he was before, he gets changed to being sad as well, just to fit the certain narrative. That's like saying, I don't know, because in Stampy's finale, right? In Stampy's finale, Hit the Target had the option to leave. Hit the Target and Viva Dash had the option to leave the world with Stampy and all them. Obviously, Viva chose that, but Hit the Target still abided by his goal of taking over the world, right? And then if you were to contrive his character, because, like, he had a near redemption, I think, but obviously he was, like, due to maintaining a status quo, he still abided by taking over the world. That's a status quo, by the way. When things stay the same, it's like Stampy's the person who fights against Hit the Target taking over, and Hit the Target's the villain who takes over. Like, because that's the thing, because sometimes they try to redeem Hit the Target, and then it always ends up with him, like, backstabbing Stampy or someone else. That's literally called a status quo, where things just stay the same forever. When you contrive something, it's like you sort of change a character, change their entire personality, change their character traits to fit one narrative. Like turning him into a terrorist with nuclear warfare and creating black holes and rifts and tears in time and space just to make one of your stories look deep. Like, that's contrived. Like, just forcing. It's like the character of Hit the Target almost became good in Stampy's finale. And it's like he almost turned good. He had a hope of light. And you'd think, oh, he's seen that light. He's lonely. So why would he go back to wanting to destroy everything? Why would he want to destroy the world with a nuke? Like, why would he want to do any of that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? It's like he had an option to redeem, but then obviously character change, turn him into an evil, unforgivable monster just to fit a narrative. Like how... Right, there is a difference between contrivation and retcon, right? A retcon, let's say, is like, say your character was originally someone who was a traveller from a very, very distant land, who travelled to different lands, towns and villages it's like, yeah, they went on a journey to different places and they started helping everyone they came across. And let's just say they asked where he was born, and then they say, I was born in a town called Ladar. Yeah, they were born in Ladar, a place where people are united and they're really nice people. They're really nice people. And if you were to do a retcon or a revelation, you would say that it turns out this person isn't from Ladar. They're from a place that's actually really awful. But the memories of living in that awful place, that evil place of tyranny, was erased from their mind. That is a retcon, people. A retcon is when you completely change the origins for new story potential and character potential as well. That's like The Timeless Child, for instance. It's a very controversial plot thread, or it's a very controversial mystery box in Doctor Who Series 12 of the modern show. Now that I've watched Doctor Who and stuff, and all that, and I've seen the brilliant plots that can be formed from it, I see a lot of past media that I used to consume more, and I just think most of the stuff are pretty generic. Like, the stories with Stampy and Hit the Target, they're not really that special. I mean, I love them. I love him. He's great. He's my childhood. But it's just like, after seeing a lot of stuff, his plots are very simple. Like, they're not mind-blowing, if that makes sense. They're not mind-boggling. They don't challenge any characters. They don't do anything. They always maintain a status quo. No one seems to die that much. Because if someone died in Stampy's Lovely World, the actual original series, then that would be going against the whole it's for kids angle, apparently. Even though Doctor Who's a family show, and they've done horror, they've killed characters before, and that's still a family show. Doctor Who. In the past, it's been established, because Time Lord history and regeneration history, I need to explain that. Now, if there are any Whovians in the stream or anything like that, feel free to correct me, because I do not like to consider myself a major Whovian. I'm not a major conspiracist. I'm not a major fan who knows everything. I'm not like that. So correct me if I'm wrong. Right? Time Lords, and the reason before they were able to get their regeneration, I don't know, it was just they were born with it, I suppose. No, there was a thing called the Untempered Schism, which I'm pretty sure was introduced in the episode titled The Last of the Time Lords, where it was this thing where every single... Because the Doctor's people, right, are called Gallifreyans, and the really, really rich elitist people who run Gallifrey are called the Time Lords, or the thing that they're in is called Time Lord Society. Every young Gallifreyan or every young Time Lord stares into the Untempered Schism, and they get granted a cycle of 12 regenerations. A maximum cycle of 12 regenerations. And if you've done something really, really good for the Time Lords, then you'll probably be granted a new cycle of regenerations when you've reached your limit. Which I think's interesting. And then there's the Doctor, who is also established to have gotten 12 regenerations. Right? That's the whole idea of the 11th... Time of the Doctor. Matt Smith is supposed to be, well, in universe anyway. People don't call him the 12th Doctor, but in universe he is the 12th Doctor. Well, he was the 12th Doctor. Basically, he was on his final regeneration and he was going to die. And there was a crack in the wall. They went to a town called Christmas, where the Doctor grew old and fought the town from many threats like Cybermen, Weeping Angels, the Silence, the Daleks, and etc. He grew up old there and fought for those people, right? But then when Clara spoke to the Time Crack, because apparently behind the Time Crack was the Time Lords, Clara Oswald asked the Time Crack to help the Doctor. And they did. Because when the Daleks invaded and started destroying the town, he was about to die. But then another time crack opened, and he was granted 12 regenerations. Or no, he was just granted regenerations. No one knows the limit. And then he used his regeneration energy to explode the Daleks out of the town. And then he became Peter Capaldi, the 13th Doctor in universe, but outside, people actually call him the 12th Doctor, because people don't seem to include secret doctors or temporary doctors like John Hurt or the War Doctor. But hey-ho. The Timeless Child kind of contradicts Doctor Who history. Because, let's just say this. There was, Gallifrey's indigenous race is called the Shobogans, right? Hello, Greg. Basically, the Shobogans. And then there was a space traveller from Gallifrey called Tecteun, who was apparently the founder of space travel in the Doctor Who universe, which I don't see why that's important. Thanks, Greg. I don't see why that was important. But Tecteun travelled to a planet, a mysterious planet, and there was a monument, and underneath the monument was a child. And above the monument was a portal to another dimension or another universe. Tecteun took the child in and looked after it. But one day on Gallifrey, when the child was playing with her friend, the Master, if you know, you know, she fell off a cliff. And then Tecteun discovered that when the child was close to near-death experiences, they would regenerate to keep themselves alive. Infinite regenerations, that's like the power the child was born with. So instead of actually keep looking after it, instead she isolated the child from the outside of Gallifrey and started experimenting on her, trying desperately to replicate the regeneration ability that the child had. And she finally replicated it, and she was given the ability to regenerate as well. So she took this power to the Time Lord Society, well, the higher-ups of the Shobogan race, and told them about the possibilities of regeneration. So they put a cap on it that you could only be granted 12 regenerations per cycle. And instead of letting the child go, instead they imprisoned her, stealing regeneration energy and granting it to a new Time Lord, or a new Gallifreyan. They created Division, which would use the child to do missions for them. And every time the child reached the end of a mission, they promised her freedom, but after the mission ended, they would wipe the child's memory and keep her under control. Basically, they imply that the Doctor is the timeless child and she was responsible for why Time Lords can regenerate. People hated that. It contradicts things, and I agree, because it's like, it's established that the Doctor can regenerate 12 times, but the timeless child establishes that she can regenerate infinitely. There's no limit on how many times she can regenerate. And then after they said that, they said the Master told the Doctor, like, after they got regeneration, they created the Gallifreyan Citadel, and they became a self-appointed elite known as the Time Lords, obviously, and kept the child imprisoned for centuries. Now, and then after that, the Master said, and you know what they say? The rest is history. And it's like, no. How was my Christmas? It was okay. But unfortunately, during that period of time, I received tonsillitis. Tonsillitis is... Jesus, I hate it. Oh, God. tonsillitis. Every time I ate or drink or swallowed, it felt like a sharp knife was in my throat. So, luckily I was able to eat my Christmas dinner. But Boxing Day, oh God, horrible. It was absolutely horrible. It's getting better though. Honestly, to be honest. Yeah, it is getting better. I hope you're feeling better. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better by the day. I've got tablets, but they're working slowly but surely. Yeah, I do agree. The Timeless Child does contradict Doctor Who history in a bit, because it's established before that the Doctor only has 12 regenerations, but Timeless Child establishes that he could literally infinitely regenerate whenever he wants. It does contradict a load of things. And then there's Jo Martin's Doctor, or the Fugitive Doctor. No one knows where she's from. No one knows what time she's from. Because with John Hurt in the 50th anniversary, we understand where he comes from. He's from the Time War. So he's like the 9th Doctor in universe. Obviously, in reality, Christopher Eccleston is the 9th Doctor. But in universe, the 9th Doctor... in universe... John Hurt, or the War Doctor, is the 9th Doctor. But yeah, we know where he's from. He's from the Time War, and he's trying to stop the Daleks from destroying Gallifrey. But the only way he thought that he could do that is to destroy the Daleks, to stop the war. He had this button to not only stop the Daleks, but also he had to kill the Time Lords in the process, which is a very good conflict for him to have. It's like, kill the Daleks, but you also kill the Time Lords, meaning he was responsible for the death of the Gallifreyans. And there's the thing with the Matt Smith Doctor, he doesn't accept John Hurt as an official incarnation as the Doctor. He's like, oh yeah, you may be an incarnation of me, but you didn't end the war as the Doctor. Like, it's a very... I like it. Hello, Dave. It's like, I like that. The War Doctor, and it was an interesting conflict. And in the 50th anniversary, obviously, they brought back Gallifrey in a different way. They froze Gallifrey and put it into a pocket universe. And obviously, the Time War stopped, which was pretty good. But then, obviously, the Master destroyed it again in the Timeless Children, just because he was mad that the reason why he could regenerate was because of the Doctor, because the Doctor and the Master are long-time enemies. People are like, oh, we should retcon it and make the Master the Timeless Child. Because I can see that. Because if it turned out that the Master was the Timeless Child, discovering that the Time Lords tortured him, but he didn't know about it because his memories got wiped, maybe we would be more understanding to why the Master destroyed Gallifrey in the first place. Because he was the Timeless Child who was being tortured. But that would also not make any sense, because it's also established that the Master had 12 regenerations. So it doesn't make any sense. I thought of a little retcon, personally, which I think could... I thought of a little thing that not only expands on The Timeless Child, but it also fixes the numerous contradictions that the show had. So basically, my number one thing... Ncuti Gatwa is a good Doctor. The 15th Doctor, he's good. In his finale, he went up against a villain called Sutekh, who they dragged into the time vortex, and then he started ripping up holes in the vortex with his claws. And when he opened the holes, they opened up in present-day Earth, and people magically came back to life. On Earth, present Earth. The time vortex obviously being the past, present, and the future, the holes never just opened up in modern Earth. They opened up in numerous past, present, or future locations. So basically, yeah, that happened. I thought of it, Jo Martin, the Fugitive Doctor, is actually a pre-First Doctor, a pre-Hartnell Doctor. And I've got a really good retcon. It's a good thing. This is more for Doctor Whovians, people who actually know who these people are, which I don't think there are any who are very aware of, I don't know. It's just me. Basically, locked up in the Matrix. By the way, the Matrix is a place that, basically, if you think of something, it becomes that. It becomes what you think, and it becomes what your memory is. What memory you have. If you think of, like, a nice day in the park, it'll probably generate you a nice day in the park. Right? That's what the Matrix is in Doctor Who. Basically, the idea is simple. Jo Martin was locked away in the Matrix. And I thought of making the Matrix a bit like an AI, where it's like, because the Matrix involves sort of like time travel in a way, because when you think of an idea of something, it takes something already existing and it sort of presents it to you on a plate. Jo Martin the Fugitive Doctor, was thinking of a way out, and then the Matrix went through time and through the past, present, and the future to see what kind of way out that the fugitive could use to get out. And it generated the police box TARDIS, because people say, oh, but if this is a pre-Hartnell Doctor, then why does her TARDIS look like a police box? It's not an actual TARDIS, by the way. It's an AI-generated TARDIS, or a Matrix-generated TARDIS. And it's pulled from when they get the police box one. So she takes it and she leaves Gallifrey, being on the run from Division. She travels to modern-day Earth. She time skips, by the way. So if she doesn't become William Hartnell, then that means that if William Hartnell never happens, then that would obviously mean that, the future Doctor incarnations would never come out, which they still do. Time does resume. So basically, the Division must find her and kill her when she regenerates into William Hartnell. So she has knowledge on being the Timeless Child, because she has a brief idea of it, because the Division tell her all the time. And then it's like, she goes to the 13th Doctor, who is Jodie Whittaker. Jo Martin finds out that the Doctor has found out who she was as the Timeless Child, and she uses her knowledge of the Timeless Child to sort of help her out. Right? And then, after that, she doesn't serve an importance that much. She just makes brief appearances and cameos and stuff. But then one day, after a certain period of time, Division finally caught up to her. They shot her in the back, and she started regenerating. I thought of a character who is the leader of the Division, and this is another title, by the way, the director. The director is the leader of the division. And basically, the Untempered Schism, like I said, is a little machine that goes into the time vortex and grants young Time Lords 12 regenerations. Basically, that cycle is every time the Untempered Schism opened, the director's cue was he could literally open a time vortex door with his own hands, and he could literally absorb regeneration energy out of the child, throw it through the door. It would go through the Untempered Schism into the new Time Lord, which is quite an interesting idea now that I think about it. And then when that happens, we find out. So yeah, that's the explanation. And when Jo Martin is mid-regenerating, the director absorbs her regeneration energy, and it turns out that the director has literally absorbed Jo Martin's entire regeneration. Like, explanation: Omega, one of the founding fathers of Gallifrey, is the creator of time travel in the Doctor Who universe. Basically, he took the power of a black hole, and he stole the Doctor as a Shobogan child and used her to create the time vortex. Disposed the child, and basically, Time Lord brother Rassilon sacrificed Omega, or pushed him into a supernova, and took credit for time travel, even though people mostly knew that it was Omega. An antimatter black hole that Omega got trapped in, by the way. So basically, yeah, that's an explanation. And when creating the time vortex created a time vortex heart, which went to the child, granting her the infinite ability to regenerate. Also explaining why the time vortex, the Sonic, and the TARDIS interior can literally change when the Doctor changes. Interesting. So yeah, that's established. So the director accidentally stole the Doctor's the time vortex heart, and they put it into the machine called the Regenerator, which is a machine that just pumps out regeneration energy every time a new Time Lord is present to get their regeneration. That happened. They took the Doctor. The Doctor regenerates into the first Doctor to ever be on TV. They take him to the Untempered Schism to give him 12 regenerations. They wipe his memory and they place him and treat him as a regular Time Lord, not as a mythical being. So I think that resolves quite a few plot holes, in my opinion. It resolves things. And now, as the Master says, history... What was it? The rest is history. That's a proper way to go out of it. And the rest, as they say, is history. Which is true. The rest is history. The rest, as they say, is history. Which I think explains a lot of things. How long have I been going for? Actually, this is so annoying. I don't see... 54 minutes ago. Interesting. I'm such a Who fanatic, bro. Oh, it's a bit quiet, I think. I'm not speaking much today. I'm not speaking much today. I am not speaking much at the moment. It's been a while since I've been away. But when episode 201 is done, I am going to have to think of some new minigames, new shops, new ideas. I need to start thinking of that. There was someone who commented once saying that they would prefer if I became a more story-driven series instead of a Let's Play series. Which sounds good, to be fair. I do like storytelling. I prefer that aspect, if I'm honest. But I just like to maintain a status quo. It's not a big status quo. I like to be progressive. Well, I can't die. I can't die. I can't die. I died. I can't die. I'm just alive. But Oh, I need to run away. Oh, I need to run away. Fucking hell, Max. Oh, for fuck's sake. I've seen that everywhere. Everywhere. Who cares if a celebrity has an opinion? Like, fucking hell. This is what the left are like. When you don't have the same opinion as them, they'll immediately start attacking you. That's what pisses me off about the lefty media. It pisses me off. Sorry to get political. I just saw it on TikTok again. A celebrity turned out to be MAGA, a MAGA supporter, and now people, the left media, are just going full at them because they support MAGA, which is like, just piss it off. Like, if they have an opinion, just let them have the opinion. Like, you don't need to... Because, you know, some of these idiots don't understand. Some of them are like, ooh, mass unfollowing, you're losing followers, you're losing subscribers, ooh, it's like, I don't think they give two shits about that, mate. Some of them are absolutely horrible, though. Because I don't think this celebrity was American. They just emigrated to New York, I think, like 40 years ago. And when she said that she was a MAGA supporter and supports Turning Point, Trump and that, people just started growling and having a go at her and saying stuff like, send her back. There's a petition somewhere saying for this person to be sent back because they're a MAGA supporter. And it's like, what the actual fuck? God, the left or the Democrats can be so fucking evil. So fucking cowardice. So malicious. So malicious. When you don't have the same... Because one thing clear, I've just seen the left. I've seen the left. The left in the US. The left in the UK. For example, like Zach Polanski. Fucking hell, he's absolutely delusional. The left in the US and the UK. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Loonies. Right? But what I just saw something that's absolutely clear to me. If you have a different opinion to them, they won't accept you. They won't like you. They won't listen to you. And they'll just dispose of you at their will. They're not fans. The people who claim to be fans of this person, who turned against her for having an opinion, they're not real fans. They're not loyal. Because if they were fans, they would abide by them, right? If they were loyal, they would abide by them no matter what. Does it depend on what the opinion is? Yes. If it's really bad, if it was for Nazism or something like that, then I understand why people would definitely turn against her or turn against them. Then I'd probably understand more. But this is because they support the Republicans, by the way. This is because they're openly a Republican and they're openly a MAGA supporter. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? It's not Nazism. It's not fascism. It's none of that shit. It's not racism either. If anything, the left are being racist for saying, send her back. Because they're a bloody... Because the left, right, the Democrats and the left are supposed to be like, oh, we want to take them in, they're all welcome into America, even the ones without ID. But when someone who comes from, I think it was Trinidad, was it? Trinidad, or something like that. When they're open about being a Republican, being a MAGA supporter, no, the left are like, oh, send them back. That is not a fucking loyal fan base. Not a loyal fan base. Some celebrities are absolute twats. That is literally any community ever. If you've done something to upset someone, or if you upset someone for being different, you're going to be dropped. You're going to be let go. It depends what the opinion is, and it depends what they drop you for. Yes. But if it's just for being a Republican and supporting Trump, then what's the fucking problem? I get it. The man has allegations, right? But if... I swear this person, fights for women's rights. The person who said they supported Trump. I swear they fight for women's rights. Because, I don't think a woman's right activist would support someone who has proof of being a rapist. Right? It's like the current issue. There's a current politician. There's a politician who was accused of fascism, Nazism, and anti-Semitism. Even though there's no proof, this person is 61 years old, and apparently the time of when they said this, they're about 16 years old, and they went to school, which is about 50 years ago, half a century ago. He seems to have changed. I've not seen any sorts of behaviour like this. Sure, some of the lefties may be like, there's proof because he says, stop the illegals from coming in, deport the illegals and all this. Which, openly, I am a reform supporter. But, until there's any proof of him being like this, I don't believe it. That is just who I am. Until there's information or any proof of this, I don't believe you. Some will arguably say, the school letter he was sent. Yeah, but there's no video proof of him being, that way. All the letters, it's just words, isn't it? It's just words. They're just saying things that might not even be true. Hell, apparently it was this person and other people. So they can't remember the names of the other people, but they somehow remember who the current politician who is rising in the UK polls is. Fucking unbelievable. It's a stunt. It's a stunt. They're saying all this stuff to get him debunked in the polls. But conveniently, he's not fallen. He's rising still. There's no proof. There's no actual bloody proof of him saying this. And I've heard him say that he meant no malice if he's ever said stuff. But it was about 50 years ago. And he was absolutely right. The BBC and the media are absolutely hypocritical to call him out for comments like that in school. When especially the BBC were definitely promoting some shady shit back in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. They were pumping out some shady shit. Right? And what else is there? Oh yeah, school. We've all said stuff before. I hate those kinds of people. When it's like, you should be ashamed of what you've said. And it's like, well, I'm sorry. Don't get on your moral high horse, love. I'm sorry. But you've probably said some stuff that's been deemed offensive. You've probably said stuff that's not been received well before. Stop getting on your moral high horse. You've probably said stuff like that in your past. So stop acting like you're all perfect and you've never done anything wrong in your life. For fucking hell's sake. No one's perfect. Fucking unbelievable. Honestly. Sometimes school likes to sometimes throw stuff my way. Things. It's just words. It's just words that they're saying. They're saying, Max has said this that's really not good. Ooh. Well, I'd probably remember it if I did say it. And I'm being honest. And I do apologise if I have said some awful stuff that may have been deemed offensive. I do. If I have said it, I don't mean it. I don't mean anything by what I've said. If I found out that I said stuff like that, I would openly apologise it. And I openly condemn what I have said that is wrong or bad on many levels. I condemn things that have been bad. I don't like it. When someone says something bad, you immediately assume that they actually know what they're saying. Some people don't know what they're saying. Some people don't know what they understand. They don't understand what they're saying. Right? And I'm a heavily special person, and I'm not going to use that to my advantage here. I'm not trying to use it as a get out of jail free card. No way. That'd be fucking... That's bloody pathetic. But I'm one of those people, I say something, but then I don't think of it any further, and I just leave. I just leave it. But if I have said something bad before, I would immediately apologise for it. I would immediately apologise for it. And I openly condemn things. I hate stuff. Like, I hate racism. I hate homophobia. I hate all of that. Everyone should be equal. I hate discrimination. People should know that. I hate it. It's not nice. I hate it. I openly hate it. If I did become one of those things, it would be going against my personal rhetoric of none of that. I am anti-Nazi, anti-fascist, anti all of that. I am anti-ableist, I am anti-ageist, I am anti-sexist, I am anti all of that. I am very aware of stuff that can be said. Sometimes I'm not aware of myself. What I am trying to say is everyone has said something before. I'm sure everyone has. Even if they want to get on their moral high horse and start saying, you should be ashamed of yourself, and I'm just here on my, I'm so perfect, mighty high horse. Like, absolutely fucking not, mate. You've probably said something in your past. What I'm trying to say is everyone said something at some point. And most of us, definitely not all of us, have condemned that. I condemn anything. If I have said something wrong, I openly apologise for it. Right? But until I hear there's any evidence of me doing something really bad, that I definitely haven't. It's not factually correct. Till there's no proof, till there's no video evidence or physical evidence of me doing something really bad, it's not real. It's factually incorrect. It's factually incorrect. What I'm trying to say is, I think at my school, some people who are reporting me for some stuff that I haven't done, that I don't remember doing, they're just trying to take me down. They're trying to take me down. They're trying to report me for every single bit of hate under the sun. That is what they're doing. They're trying to make me look bad when I'm not. They are trying to take me down. And that is not going to work. I will always rise up better than I have before. I will always rise. I will always rise to the allegations. I will always rise to the person who said this. I will never be allowed to be beaten. I will never allow myself to say stuff like that. Because I wouldn't want to. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. Hell, I've watched a Doctor Who YouTuber who is, I think, transgender. What's it? Council of Geeks. I love their videos because it's like their analysis and their video reviews are just great. I love them. Right? I don't remember being like that. I don't remember saying anything bad to hurt anybody. And even if I have said anything bad, I don't mean to hurt anybody. I don't wish hate. I do not wish harm on anybody. I am open. I am open to talking to, at the school. I am open to talking or having a conversation with the people who feel like they can't talk to me, or people who feel like they're scared of me. I am open to having the conversations. I am open to talking and letting bygones be bygones. I am open to talking and getting to a point. I am open to cracking open the skin and find out what's going on. Right? I am open to having these conversations with the, I don't like people who try to cover up their actions. I'd prefer to just say if anything's bad has happened. Right? I don't remember saying these things. I don't remember being those sort of ways. I wouldn't wish anything on anybody. I wouldn't wish harm on anybody. I wouldn't wish death on anybody. And most certainly, I do not wish hate on anybody. But I think the people who are saying this at school are they're getting either false rumours about me, they're taking things out of context, or they're not getting the full picture and people are just spreading fucking bullshit to them. What I'm trying to say is I feel like I'm being taken down. I'm being taken down, which I will not be beaten by these people. Whoever these people are, because I said I've come up with my own theories or my own things saying these people who are reporting me are a bunch, they're like a group of people who have band together. They have joined the anti-Max bandwagon and they've started reporting me for stuff that I haven't done or I wouldn't wish to do. Right? And if this is the case, I will rise to the occasion. I will rise to the occasion and I will always fight for my ground. I will always stand my ground. I will always fight my battles. I don't like to let people fight for me. I think that's cowardice. But if that ever happened to me, I will always rise to the occasion and I will always fight to stand my ground. I know where my morals sit. I know where I stand, and most certainly I know exactly what hate and not hate is. I wouldn't wish hate on anybody. I wouldn't wish hate. I would not wish harm. No death. No hate. I do not wish anything on them. Even if I have said something bad, which I don't remember saying, I don't mean it. I don't want people to feel like I can't be talked to. I don't want people to think that I'm a bad person who says hateful stuff, because I don't. I don't like being considered that way. I don't want people to think I'm a bad person. Right? I want people to feel safe when they talk to me. Because sometimes when I get really, really angry, people worry that I'm about to lash out at them, when I'm not. I am being open with you right now. I'm being open. I do get really angry sometimes. Sometimes when I used to get into political rants with people, and then I would get really angry because I'd be passionately into my views. I would get really angry. And then people would feel scared of me because they felt like I was about to lash out at them. And I have apologised to a person who I made them feel like that I was going to hurt them, which I wouldn't want to hurt them. I wouldn't want to hurt them. I wouldn't want to hate them. And I wouldn't want to harm them. They should be safe. They should feel safe to talk to me. They should feel safe to have a conversation with me. If I have reflected on my stuff before, and I will reflect on loads of things. I will reflect on what I say. I have to reflect on my politics, and I have to reflect on a load of things. I am very open about this. Usually when I'm just around, I'm very closed off about it, but I'm honest. I don't want to be looked at as a bad person. I wouldn't wish to be a bad person. Yeah, I'm being accused, even though I've not said that. Well, not that I'm aware of. I wouldn't like to be looked at as that sort of person. I never have wished to be looked at like that. And just know that if you want to talk to me, you can. And you don't have to feel scared. You can be safe. I'm a very civil person. You can talk to me about things. I'm very open. I'm very aware of what I say or what other people say. I'm very aware of what is hate and what isn't. I'm very aware of politics and how hypnotising they can be. I'm very aware about grifting. And yeah, just letting you know that I'm open to being civil, being calm, and just being around. Yeah, just know I am not a hateful person. I never have. Even if I was, I'd probably know that, which I don't. I'm very confused. I'm confused to why people have, maybe they've mistaken me for someone else, or maybe it's just what their mind's telling them. Maybe I've said something that in a very jokey way, but they assume it's serious. But yeah, I'm done hiding this. I'm done hiding these things. Nah, I'm very open. I don't wish hate on anybody. I don't wish any of that. I'm not going to repeat myself, but I think you all get the gist. Yeah, that is very much where I stand as a person, fighting for my morals. I know where my morals sit. I know where I stand in this. And I know that I would never be a bad person to anybody. I am very aware of that indeed. I am very aware, and I am very, very open to having that conversation later down the line. But anyway, yeah, I'm just going to end that conversation here, and I'm getting very bored of this game. Oh, I need to stretch. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Shit, bruh. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Jesus. Fucking hell, mate. Oh, fucking hell, my legs. Oh, I've hurt. I've hurt, bro. I've hurt. Right, guys. I think I'm going to end the stream here, actually. That's the end of today's stream. If you enjoyed this, I'm going to give it a like. Sorry I got very deep at the end. Sorry. It's just accusations and stuff. It's like, if I was aware, if I was hateful, I'd be very aware of it and I'd know if I said anything wrong. But anyway, that's that. See you all later.